Welcome back, guys. So carrying on with the texturing. So yeah, just one thing I missed that I did not add in our texture set is the fingers. So I'd like to add that in there now. So I've already added this to the set we have to like the fingers in here now. So all I have to do is just to select this and just export this out again. Every other thing has the proper naming in there. So probably just select them one by one like so, just to be on the safe side. Then I would export this out as a dual FBX. Just put as dual FBX again. Let me just name this to, let me just put this to 2. Export. Just allow it to do this thing. But before I continue, I would just like to do a backup for this, because I really would not like to mess things up. So in case I mess things up, I'll have a backup to fall back to. So the file should be .lbx file, should be in here. This body ready too. I think we are good to go. Instead of SubstancePainter, let me just copy that file part first. So I'll go to edit, project configuration, select, place that file part in here. Then it should be this body ready too. Body ready. So I click on open. I'll click OK on this. Then we'll just give this a moment to go through. Okay, that didn't take too long. And we have the and we have the fingers in there now, which is more or less precisely what we want. Okay. Now let's see if we have we need to kind of bake some setup for it, some map for it. So if you go to the fingers, then I'll just need to import some fingers in there, the fingers normal map. Let's see if I remember correctly where I baked that in. Under Z maps. So we have it in here now. This is the normal map in here. So let's just drag this in there. Texture, import. So let's just drag this, plug this in here. If we take a closer look at that, we should be having the normal map affecting it right now, which we do, as you can see, except for just some modeling issues we just have in there. Just to adjust this properly, but that's fine. We can always do that later on. It's not really a big issue. I'm sure you guys can do that. Okay, so then we're going to bake maps for that. So I'll click on bake, turn off normal map. Let's bake at 2K. So we only need to bake the fingers. So Then we generate the curvature from the map. That's precisely what we want. Making sure only pink that is selected, only same name. That's fine. Then we'll click bake. Okay, so I've successfully baked out some maps in there, which is fine. Right. It's fine. We can work with that. So back to the base mesh, back to the main mesh. So yeah, I will need to kind of brighten up some parts a bit more. So this bright brown texture, I probably need to duplicate that. Then I'll bring that on top of everything. Maybe just below this dark brown, I believe. Let's see what that gives us. I think it's still recalculating. Let me check this on our build. Still not yet there. Okay, we have it in there now. Let's, as you would guess, is way too much. Definitely way too much. Let me just let's put this under here. Then take this down around somewhere like so. Let's see what we have. Something like this, I guess. Let's just see if we can play with this some more. Okay, I think this should be more or less fine. Let's see if we should bring this down here. No, that completely hides it. So let me bring this down here again, then increase this all the way up. Now it should be in here. I think the value like this should be fine. Though it feels slightly too much on the face, so let me just put this down again. Here we go. Yes, somewhere like this should be fine. So for the face, I'll just need to tone it down a bit more. Maybe not too much. Let's see how it looks on the face in here. Okay. It's feeling like I kind of keep this. Probably I should just leave this for now. Let me just leave this for now. So I need to make one of the corners of the eyes a bit darker. So let's just use our depth brush for this. There's still some detail we still need to add all over this though, but we're definitely getting somewhere, so let's just carry on. We'll take this down, take down the brush size a bit. We'll start painting some darker tones around here. Take this flow down even more. That feels way too dark. That feels way too dark. So hit X on the keyboard to eliminate most of that. Okay. Then paint that back in again with a more lower intensity to it. Probably around all this side. Okay. Maybe take it up a bit more. And darken this side. Right. So do the same for the other side too. I think this should be more or less fine. Take this down even more and just paint around the corners of the nose. Then take this way up and paint the inner parts of the nose. Take this down and just do another pass around here. We invert that. It feels a bit too much. Let me just take it down. X on the keyboard, even take this down a bit more. Just splash this around here. Take this down even more, somewhere around here, and just splash around these corners a bit more. I want it to be too obvious though, but I still want something to be there. I still want something to be there. Okay, it should work. Just trying to figure out maybe it's the right time now to think underneath this part should be a bit darker. Okay, I see some more brownish tone around here. See some more brownish tone around here. No, bright brown tone. I'm seeing some variations of dark spots around this also. Let's just get this bright brown tone. So we have this around the ear, around the nose, and for the most part of the ear. So let's just introduce a new color in here and try to pick that tone from this. It's more towards the reddish brown. It's more or less this color actually. So you can just duplicate this, bring this up, drop this just below this dark spots. Then we can I would just rather add the black marks in there. We're also going to be adding some surface catchment on top of this. That will kind of break up the surface even more. Okay, it's coming out quite well. It's coming out quite well. Okay, yes. So I'm going to increase this all the way up. Let's go to the albedo. Just kind of create some. Yes, this is precisely the color we need. Set only brighter. Then we can tune this down however we want. So we also have this around the corners of the nose. Okay. Now, for the most part, it's not very obvious in here, but it's good just to have them in there regardless. Let's see if there's some other parts we have this. We have this, we have that around the top of the lips. Somewhere around here. Okay. Then we have them for the most part of the year. Especially on the back side. Okay. I think that should be fine. Maybe we'll just do like an overtone of this same on top of those some of those brighter spots on the face. Somewhere around here. Okay. That seems fine. Maybe we can just fill that in some other regions of the body also to make it slightly more interesting. Alright. Okay, so now let's add some black spots around this entire model. I'm seeing more of this now around the corners of the eye. So let's get this around some part of the around the eye. Around here should be fine. Here also, like so. Okay. I'm not doing a quick save for this. Okay. Let's see. We can't really see those black spots precisely on that. Maybe we should be able to see it here. Not so much. Okay. You can see some of the black spots around the head now. Okay. So let's do a, so we're going to be using this same dark brown. So I'm just going to duplicate this dark brown. Now just name this to spots. Just name it to dark spots. We're still going to texture the lips though, but for now let's just see if we can get everything that has to do with the general part of the body out of the way first. So I'm going to use a completely black mask for that. Okay. So let's plug in a fill layer, and on this fill layer we're going to be using ZBrush. Think it should be kind of spots. Let's type in spot. Let's see the variation of spots we have in here. This one looks quite interesting. This one just looks. I think we'll just stick with this. This one also looks interesting because there's some variation of shape in there, which is more interesting. So let's use this instead. So let's visualize the marks for this. This is the marks. So let's add this on projection triplanar, so that we kind of ignore the UVs. No, we don't want that. We only want just the spot alone here. This is just precisely what we want alone. Okay, though there's some kind of, that's a bit of stretching in there. Let's see if we can, let's round this up to 30. Now this looks too uniform. Let's try 10 in there. Yeah, 10 looks quite interesting. Yeah, 10 looks interesting actually. So let's go back in here. Except for the fact that we don't want it all over the place. And we can more or less add some kind of height information to it to make it slightly interesting. So let's just go towards the positive region, but not too much though. Don't want this to be too high, so I'm going to just probably put this around 3. Something like this should be fine. Except we don't want this all over the place. This looks like it's all over the place, which is not exactly what we want. Though we kind of take this, the name just kind of break up where it should be. So on top of this, I'll add another fill layer. Now on this fill layer, I'll just use a normal regular, I think, cloud. So let's try this BW. Let me just hide this for now. Let's visualize the marks. So for the balance, we want to make the white part more. We need the white part to be more obvious. Maybe not too much. Since somewhere around this nature should be fine. We still have some variations of gray in between there, which is quite nice. So triplanar mapping, probably need to crank this up a bit more. Something more or less of this nature should be fine. Then we need to put this to, I believe it should be multiply. Now turn this back on. So now what that, let's see. So what that actually does is to kind of max out some of these underlying spots, or some of this underline, or some of this layer of spots we have underneath this, underneath the blue W spot. So it's more or less like a maxing feature actually, just to max what is under. So this is precisely what we want. I should bring this back in. Maybe that is hiding way too much. So let's go back in here. Let's go to the maxing and let's play with some of these values. Probably increase to reveal more of it. We'll come back in here. You can see some of the spots in there now. probably need a bit more of these spots. Now that feels way too much. Something of this nature looks fine. Maybe for the spot size, let's just decrease this down to around the value of 5. So we have something a bit broader and more obvious to see. You can also randomize this SCS, you can also randomize, so let's just randomize this a bit more. Okay, this seems fine, so we can just, I'm just going to take this down. Since something like this should be fine. Something like this looks fine. Maybe down a bit more. Put this around the value of 7. Okay. Okay, I think we can live with this. We can definitely live with this. I need to darken this part a bit more. So I come to this dark brown, take down the intensity, and then just keep painting on this region. And to have more or less like a more broader, darker tone around there. Same this other side. I think we already have something in here. Okay. Just imitate like air is growing around there, and then he has shaved a few times, so that's gonna have some kind of darker tone to it compared to the other parts of the face. Okay. I think one region we have not really paid much attention to is the palm, so let's go in there and then try to show that part a bit more love. Okay, and for this I'll need to turn on symmetry, so I'll select this, make sure symmetry is turned on. Okay, now go back to the paints, then I'll just create a new layer on top of this. Instead of creating a new layer, let's just duplicate what we already have. So just duplicate these dark spots, add the black marks, take that all the way to 100, then let me just name this Palm Bright, and I just do a quick save. So I'm going to kind of select this now, try to unpick, try to pick that color tone from this. Okay, somewhere around here. Still on the dirt brush. I'll start smashing in some brighter tone around here. Maybe use their builder instead. Use their builder to kind of block this out. Doesn't need to be like all over the place though. You just need it to we already had a pass around on top of that earlier on, so let's just be smashing some of this in. Let's just get some precise stroke around here. Let's get this out. Okay. I think this should be fine. Except it looks very as if it's painted, so let's just tone this down a bit more. Somewhere around here should be fine. Let's check this from a distance, see if it feels a bit too bright. Okay, somewhere around here should be fine. Then I'm still going to duplicate this dark spot, add the black marks to it, take that off. So I'm going to use I believe I can use let's see, add bitmap marks. Let's use the curvature. This is the curvature of the body. So then probably need to invert this. Need to have an inverse of this. Yes, invert marks. Don't need to be everywhere though. So on top of this, I'm just going to I'm going to group this now. And I'll just name this farm dark cracks. Okay, and I'm going to add a black marks on top of that. Okay, and I believe I can paint this back in. Yes, I can paint that back in. I do that, I want something more precise, so I'm going to use the default brush for this. Let's use the default brush. Take down the opacity and the flow. That seems to no. It feels too weird at the edge. It feels too weird at the edge. I think I'll just stick with the dot brush, but with a lower brush size. So I only want this to be only want kind of paint this around the cracks, just around the cracks of the hand. So it really affect the cracks of the hand. It even has a more brownish tone to it. It's not even a black, completely black tone. So I'm going to be changing the colors later on. But for now, let's just make sure they're at least visible in there. Take down this brush size again a bit more. I think it should be on both sides. Okay, something more or less like so. Do we have something similar in here? I don't think. I'm not sure we do. Okay. Something more or less like this. I'm just going to change the color of this. Try and pick. I think the color is somewhere around here, I believe. But let's be more precise. Let's kind of pick the color from here. Something of this nature, only a bit darker. Since something like this should be fine. Yeah, that's fine. I think we can work with that. Okay, then in the next lesson, I believe we can. Okay, before we just move to the next lesson, let's give this finger some textures at the very least. Let's just give this some textures. So I'll just plug in something in here. Oh yeah, I think there's one more. There's one more thing we're missing. Let's just go back to this guy. Let's just come back in here. On this dark, not the spots. On this, to be precise, there's like a ring of kind of like some kind of darkening around where the finger sits. So let's put that in. So I'll just take this down a bit more. Maybe slightly more visible. You can see unsymmetry, so that's fine. So let's just add all of this around here. Okay. So now we can go to the, before we go to the finger, I would like to copy, I think, would like to copy let's copy this and this. So only control select the both of them. I'll click on control C to copy, then I'll go to the fingers and I'll just paste this in here. Okay, then I'll just add a white, so just add the white marks there. Just add the white marks here also. White marks. Okay. Let's see. So I'm just going to paint some of this off. So that was way too intense. So let me take this down. Fingers don't look right yet. Let's try and pick the colors. Okay. Let's see. I obviously need to blur this out. So I'll add a filter. Add a blur filter. Increase the blur even more. This, raise that up. Okay, we push. No, that's a bit too aggressive. Just to have some kind of more. Let me just duplicate this. Since some more or less like some kind of almost reddish pinkish tone to it. Maybe use the black marks instead. Then just paint this by hand in there. Still doesn't sit right for me yet. Use a more grayish tone around here. Add the black marks. Just paint some white sparkle around the lower parts. Okay. Then let's see. I'll add a blur filter for this also. Yeah, it feels a bit better now. I think we can leave. I'll just leave that the way it is. That should be fine. Do quick save. So in the next lesson, we're going to be texturing the lips. Then we'll work our way towards making any other minor corrections that we need to add to this to make this feel even better than it is right now. Okay, maybe just before I go, I would like to experiment with adding some subsurface scattering to this, and also change the light environments. Let's try this piece. Drop in shadows in here. Let's try another light environment. Just checking this with different light environments to kind of figure out if everything is working correctly or not. I think for the most I think for the most part this looks and feels just about right. Okay, so let's add some subsurface scattering to this. So I'll just come in here and I'll just add some scattering. Now I'm going to add the scatter layer just underneath everything. So I'll just create a new view, turn everything. Okay, I need to leave the color on. taking a bit of a moment to load up. And let's add some scattering to this. Doesn't seem to be doing much. Probably there's something else you need to do to get this to look right. You just use more of a reddish pinkish tone to it. Somewhere around here. And let's turn on the subsurface scattering. So turn it on around here. So right off the bat we have something in there now. I think there's a layer here that has the subsurface scattering. So let's see if we can turn that off. There's another layer with subsurface scattering turned on. So let's just find, should be in here, and turn that off. This particular one is not on, so let's see. Okay, this is the only one that's on now, so let's take this down. Shouldn't be too obvious in there. It feels slightly too aggressive. Maybe take it down even more. 0.3. Okay. This is just, I don't know if you guys can see, you can see in between here now. In between the leaves, you can see the subsurface scattering affecting it now. Probably let's try a different light setup for this. I'm not trying to have a visual look of how this will look like once I add subsurface scattering to it in an external package. I can see some issues around here that we need to kind of fix. So let's just identify where that is. Okay, is this piece, so I'm going to take that down something more or less like so. In this nature should be fine. Maybe back to the way it was before. Maybe just probably blowing it out should do the trick. Yes, much better. That seems to work just fine. So we have this now with subsurface scattering in there, and it's not too bad. I think we can definitely work with this. Though the subsurface scattering feels way too much on the face though, but This is for the most part in an external render. When we kind of add just a little of it on top of this should make this design shine even better. Right, so I'll see you guys in the next lesson. So bye for now.